Welcome to the NBA's greatest games. Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened.
It's still unthinkable, isn't it? Destiny had a date with the Chicago Bulls, but now it flirts with the Seattle SONICS. Now, the Bulls' place alongside NBA legends doesn't seem like such a burning question. The only thing burning is the Bulls' 3-0 lead, suddenly down to 3-2. This is now where the NBA Finals will be decided. The Chicago Bulls are back home, not with the title, but instead with unfinished business. Game 6, next.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1996 NBA Finals.
On their home floor this year, the Chicago Bulls are 48-2. Despite that, and despite the fact that they still have the clear upper hand in this series, there is, for the first time, a bit of uncertainty surrounding this team as they come home for Game 6. Hi, everybody, and happy Father's Day. I'm Bob Costas. That uncertainty surrounding the Chicago Bulls stems not just from the 2 straight defeats in Seattle. Only the second time this season the Bulls have lost consecutive games. Those games are over, but some of the Bulls' problems may not be. Ron Harper, very effective in the first 2 games here in Chicago, was virtually a spectator in Seattle because of an ailing knee that will require surgery at season's end. With knee and especially ankle ailments, Scottie Pippen can't explode to the basket, so the defense lays back and dares him to hit from the outside. So far, he hasn't, shooting under 33% and just 6 for 32 from three-point range. Steve Kerr is healthy, but his jump shot isn't. Usually he thrives on the open shots created by the double teams on Michael Jordan. But in this series, he's been miserable from downtown. 3 for 20 from outside the arc. Toni Kukoc excelled early against Seattle, but in Game 5, he couldn't pick up much of the slack, shooting just 5 of 13. All of this leaves Seattle, an excellent defensive team to begin with, double and triple teaming Jordan with near impunity. In the fourth quarter of Game 5, the time Jordan usually takes over, he managed just 2 points. Keep in mind that Harper's absence means Jordan spends considerable stretches guarding Gary Payton, another drain on Jordan's energies as the Bulls, the league's oldest team, play their 100th game of the season tonight. As for Seattle, right now, Shawn Kemp could be the series MVP. Gary Payton has come alive the last couple of games. And now that he's starting, Frank Brakowski has at least somewhat contained Dennis Rodman. Overall, the Sonics seemed the fresher team late in Game 5, a step quicker in every respect. And now here comes Game 6 on a quick turnaround less than 48 hours later. And so this series has taken on an entirely different tone as we return to Chicago, where talk of the Bulls' place in history has given way to the simple desire to see them finish this thing tonight before it really gets scary. Because if they don't, if the Sonics force a Game 7, Seattle will be the team on the verge of history. No team has ever recovered from an 0-3 deficit to win any kind of NBA playoff series, let alone the finals. And if Seattle can somehow do that, they will have staged simultaneously one of the greatest comebacks and one of the greatest upsets in the history of sports. So, is tonight the night Chicago celebrates, or does Seattle push them to the brink? They're already roaring at the United Center, and tonight the Bulls need the crowd more than at any time this season to help reverse the momentum and lift them over the injuries and the fatigue. The guys who will call Game 6 over the din are Marv Albert, Matt Kukoc, and Bill Walton. Go to it, Marvelous.
All right, thank you, Bob. And the way things were going over the first 3 games of this series, we did not expect to be standing back here courtside at the United Center discussing key points for game number 6. Matt, first of all, where has it all gone wrong for Michael Jordan and the Bulls?
Well, Michael cannot carry the whole offensive load. Everybody has to contribute. In particular, Scottie Pippen. Now, he has been heading in the wrong direction with his shot, much of it due to his various injuries, and that 33% puts even more pressure on everybody else. But here's how Scottie Pippen can be effective. He has a height advantage in most cases, and these are high-scoring percentage chances that need to be exploited. But overall, Chicago needs to regain their confidence, and this home court should make a world of difference.
All right, and Bill, as for Seattle, Shawn Kemp has been just terrific right throughout the series, but the changes for the Sonics really involve the upgrade and play of other people on the club aside from Shawn Kemp.
Marv, it's been a complete and remarkable turnaround for Seattle. The last time out, Chicago threw everything in their legendary arsenal at Seattle, and Seattle just spit it back and said, hey, if that's all you've got, we can win this thing. And nowhere has the turnaround been more evident than the play of Gary Payton, who's outplayed Michael Jordan the last 2 games, and George Karl will rue the early decision to hide and protect Payton from the king. The role players, though, for Seattle have contributed mightily. Detlef Schrempf, he's picked his spots, and he's been very big in the decisive run of Game 5. Nate McMillan back in the rotation from injury. Well, he's been on the floor the last 2 games. The Sonics have outscored Chicago by 34 points, and Hersey Hawkins, his scoring is up by 7 points per game in the 2 victories. Now, Seattle has youth, health, and momentum on their side. They'll play very well tonight. The questions, though, for the Bulls, they staggered home. They can't think they're just going to walk in here and hold on to a victory. They've got to go get it. All the pressure, Marv, it's on the Bulls and their fans.
All right, so coming up, it is Game 6 of the NBA Finals.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy Father's Day to dads all around the world. The Chicago Bulls welcome the world's greatest fans to the United Center. Tonight's Game 6 of the NBA Finals is between the Seattle Supersonics and your Chicago Bulls. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Seattle Supersonics. At one forward from Washington, 6'10", Detlef Schrempf. At the other forward, 6'10", out of Trinity Valley Community College, Shawn Kemp.
Chicago scheme. Hopper makes his return to the starting lineup, played only 1 minute in Game 5. For more on the Bulls and the Sonics, let's check in on the sidelines with Ahmad Rashad and Hannah Storm. First to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. The last couple of games I've reported from the Chicago locker room that they have been quiet, cautious, and even worried. Now, Michael Jordan told me that while they were in Seattle, as a team, they lost their confidence, but now that they're back home, it should return. Now, Randy Brown had a different take on it. He said, you know, while we were out in Seattle, everybody talked about what a great team we were, maybe the greatest team of all time, but while we didn't buy into that, maybe we thought about it subconsciously, and while we were thinking about it, Seattle was kicking our butts. Now that we're home, that's not going to happen. For the Seattle side of it, let's go down to Hannah.
Thanks, Ahmad. Well, arguably the best player in these finals through the first 5 games has been Shawn Kemp, but he suffered a painful bruised sternum in Game 1. He told me that will not affect his play today. His mobility's fine, even though he is sore, and he'll wear protective padding on his chest and underneath his jersey. Meanwhile, what they're counting on for the Sonics is the Bulls to be the ones who are fatigued and who are injured. George Karl is planning an up-tempo game. He wants to wear the Bulls down, he says, even if he has to reach way down in his bench and play guys like Vincent Askew and Irvin Johnson, who haven't seen action in the last 10 quarters. Marv?
Thank you, Hannah. The officials, Hugh Evans, Dick Pavetta, Steve Jaffee, the crew that worked in Game 3.
Of course, the presence of Ron Harper means that Michael Jordan now does not have to work as hard in defending Gary Payton. Also, the Bulls want to keep Rodman on Kemp as much as possible. Nevertheless, Chicago has to start forcing turnovers again and get some fast break baskets.
Seattle, good start. Fight the crowd, get him back. 25 shots for Shawn Kemp, and run, take advantage of conditioning.
And this crowd much livelier than we saw in games 1 and 2 here in Chicago. The opening tip controlled by the Bulls. The crowd actually trying to get itself into it during the playing and singing of the national anthem. They began the chant early on during the singing of the anthem. Here is Harper blocked by Payton. Shot clock at 7. We are just underway in Game 6. Pippen to the drive. We did not see that in Game 5.
Well, one of the reasons Scottie's been struggling with his shot, he gets the ball many times with the shot clock winding down. This time he didn't settle for jumper, took it hard to the hole.
Gary Payton met by Scottie Pippen. Open shot left Schrempf, and the game is tied at 2.
Terrific ball movement. Rakowski, he wants to take that shot. Schrempf, obviously a better shooter, but Britt can hit that play.
Luke Longley playing with a sore lower back. Dennis Rodman very quiet. Game 5 in Seattle. Michael Jordan. Oh, he knew on the release. He began to walk back down court.
2 series, 2 touches for Jordan in the same spot on the floor.
Shawn Kemp not able to hit on his first opportunity. The Bulls with a 5-2 lead. Jordan had missed his previous 6 from three-point range. Minute and a half gone by. Kemp had it poked away by Rodman.
As we mentioned, Scottie Pippen getting the ball with the shot clock winding down. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Michael decides not to drive it, see what he's got with the jump shot first, as the Chicago bench glad to see Michael get off so well.
And here's Kemp from deep. Ron Harper playing with the band back. Played only 1 minute in game number 5. Has seen very little action since game 2. Pippen putting moves on Kemp, slicing his way, and back come the Sonics. 3-on-2 developing, but the Bulls get back. Rakowski blows the stuff. He thought it was foul.
They're going to let this one go a lot, Marv. Rakowski's got to finish that play.
That was last touch by the Sonics.
Well, the last 2 games, Frank Rakowski has played 33 minutes, has not scored a point, has 4 rebounds, but yet he's been effective for this team because he is spreading the floor. He can't believe a foul wasn't called there on the play before. Scottie Pippen thought he got hit.
Longley. Nice pass for Rodman. There's Hersey Hawkins. Lost it from behind, and we are seeing a different from Scottie Pippen here at the start. He's come out and very aggressive. Ron Harper giving the Bulls a 7-2 lead, and they are standing and cheering here at the United Center. Pressure from Chicago. Sonics able to get it down. Hersey Hawkins, as Michael Jordan described, has been very scrappy, very aggressive. He's played very well the last 2 games. Jordan lost it. He thought he was fouled. 4-on-3 for Seattle. Kemp. And the Bulls were looking for a charge, did not get the call, as Kemp is able to tip it home.
Well, in the other games of this series and throughout all the playoffs, we have heard so many whistles. The officials look like they're going to let them play. If they do this, however, they got to let them go all game this way.
The Bulls 7 and the Sonics 6. And now a whistle away from the ball as Steve Javie indicates a foul on Kukoc.
This is what championship basketball is all about. Let the players decide this. Rodman with another flop. Shawn Kemp just stays with it. Shawn Kemp again very active. The difference for Chicago, they're taking the ball to the basket. They're not settling for the perimeter game.
And that's what Jordan attempts to do and was fouled. He was hacked. Hersey Hawkins called for his first.
Well, the players have it in their minds. They want to be aggressive. They want to take the ball to the basket as much as possible, but they're going to start to get some second thoughts. If they're going to go to the hole and not get the whistles when they get fouled, well, they're going to start thinking about maybe just relying with that jump shot.
Well, Marco with his 4th point. Jordan 11 of 22, 26 points the other night in Seattle. The rest of the Bulls just 18 of 55, but it was a very quiet 11 of 22. Michael shut down in the 4th quarter. Did not have a field goal the last 9.5 minutes and looked tired in the second half.
Marv, that long week on the road in the 2-3-2 format at the very end of the season, very debilitating for the team like Chicago on the road.
And he had to chase Gary Payton around at the other end of the court. Off the steal and taken back by Payton. Payton for Kemp. And a blocking foul against Chicago.
Well, Chicago has had a number of situations in the early going here where they have been a little bit careless with the handle. A couple of catches by Luke Longley. That time, Scottie Pippen not making sure he had the ball before he went down court and gave up the ball. And Scottie felt he was in good position to take that charge. I think he was too far underneath the basket. Good call.
What's a first-team all-league defensive player like Scottie Pippen doing taking charges anyway? That's for guys who have no game. When you can play basketball, you are defenders. You're not a guy that just gets run over and bailed out by the refs.
And Pippen picked up his first foul. Matt, did you have something to say?
I'm stumped. I don't know. I thought that was a part of good defense, taking charges. No way Scottie Pippen could block that shot.
Luke Longley could not handle the lead. Hopper says his fault. Bulls 9, Sonics 8, with 7:40 remaining in this opening quarter. Marv Albert with Matt Kukoc and Bill Walton. Hopper shot and a storm working the sidelines. Payton, yes. And the Sonics with a 1-point lead.
Hannah was talking about play the full 48. Seattle does not think that Chicago can do that. The poise, the confidence, the determination evident for the Sonics today.
Here's a three for Pippen. Scottie Pippen. Only 3 of 24 from downtown the last 3 games, and the Bulls a horrible 3 of 26 in Game 5 on Friday night. In fact, at one point they missed 20 straight 3-pointers. Schrempf, yes, and the game is tied at 12. Bulls have hit their first 2 3-point attempts. Jordan and now Pippen. Scottie Pippen, who's playing hurt, the bad ankles, a bad back, sore knee, has had a very difficult series. There's a shot only from way out. The tip goes straight. Rodman converts.
But poor spacing by Chicago with Jordan being fronted in the post. Luke Longley has to get up above the tip of the circle to get Frykowski out of there. That's why they cannot throw that lob to Michael.
Bulls with a 14-12 lead. Here's the double on Kemp. Rodman over to help. Kemp in trouble. Hawkins able to save it. Midcourt crowd wanted to travel. Shot clock is at 3.
Seattle is not taking care of their defensive boards. And the fact that Shawn Kemp is off to a very slow start is hurting the Sonics.
And the Bulls are firing from the three-point range. Schrempf for 3. Way off.
Everybody just launching the first shot that shows up, trying, I think, to get whatever jitters there might be, and there shouldn't be at this juncture, just to shoot jump shots.
Timeout is taken with 5:33 remaining in the first quarter. The Bulls with a 14-12 lead on the Sonics. Scottie Pippen in a discussion with Hugh Evans. Here's the three-point shot by Scottie Pippen to end his drought in that department. And watch the work off the offensive boards. First Jordan, he goes wide of the mark, and Rodman puts it home. So the Bulls feeling better about things in this first quarter. They lead by 2.
Nate McMillan has had his injury problems and has really not been able to help the Sonics until the last 2 games. And did he ever help? But here in a collision with Toni Kukoc, and Nate McMillan shaken up on the play as he got the hip check inadvertently from Toni Kukoc.
You can just see the caution that Nate is forced to play with because of that herniated disc. This great champion of a person and a terrific player, his one chance, and his body lets him down.
And McMillan able to hang in, remains on the floor. David Wingate has come on for the first time for Seattle. Steve Kerr in for Chicago. We come about 1 minute left in the first quarter. Illegal defense called for the first time. So that is the warning against the Bulls. Ron Harper starting the game after playing only 1 minute in Game 5 in Seattle, and has played well in this first quarter. Here's Dennis Rodman for Luke Longley. Here's it from the crowd. 4 points for Longley.
Ron Harper is moving so much better. He was so tentative back in Seattle. Perkins has to have a big game for Seattle. He has not been aggressive in his early moments.
McMillan. Beating Kukoc. Crowd looking for a travel. Harper able to dive for it. Steve Kerr only 2 of 8 in 24 minutes the other night. Toni Kukoc rebounded by Kemp. The Sonics on the run. Wingate gives it back, a bad pass. And on the scramble, Rodman had it knocked away. Last touch by Seattle.
That's a terrific defensive recovery by Ron Harper. And those are the kinds of plays he has made for Chicago all season long and in the early going into the playoffs. But Toni Kukoc posting up the smaller Payton inside. No fadeaway jumpers. Take the ball strong to the hole.
Seattle does a terrible job of getting the ball to a guard on the fast break. Get the ball to Payton. Get the ball to Wingate.
Kukoc from the shot clock running down. The extension by Toni Kukoc. Final seconds of the quarter. Perkins for 3. For this opening quarter in Chicago. Standing ovation for the Bulls. After 1. The Bulls 24. And the Sonics 18. No team in NBA history has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. To give you a broader perspective, Major League Baseball, no one has done it. National Hockey League, 2 teams have done it. The 42 Toronto Maple Leafs, the 75 New York Islanders. And no team has ever come back from a 3-2 deficit in the NBA with 2 wins on the road. Let's check in with Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Marv, Nate McMillan has been bothered on that left leg by pressure on the sciatic nerve. He's had a lot of pain in the back of the leg, but this most recent injury was a knee on the side of the leg. They iced it during that timeout. It shouldn't have any impact on the injury that he has struggled with throughout these playoffs. Let's send it over to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Hannah. I just talked with Chip Schaefer, the Bulls trainer. He told me the ice they're putting on Ron Harper is preventative sort of medicine. What it does, it gives it an analgesic effect that numbs the knee and keeps the pain away. Marv?
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Opening minute, second quarter, and the Bulls with a 24-18 lead on the Sonics.
Chicago has to be very happy with their defense in the first quarter, holding the Sonics to just 18 points. And I don't know why Seattle doesn't go to more pick and rolls. Chicago has had a lot of trouble defending it.
Gary Payton just missed a wide open layup after he burned Jordan from the perimeter.
And here's Jordan getting inside, and he was fouled. Foul on Wingate. For David Wingate, his first, and Michael Jordan to the line. He's 4 of 4 at the line.
And again, the intelligence of the Bulls. They know that when Michael has this feeling on championship night, when he's got a small defender, give him some room to get to the hoop. He can just overpower the outsized Wingate.
8 points for Jordan, although he is only 1 of 5 from the field. You know, you think back to after Game 3, several Sonics, including Gary Payton, basically giving their concession speeches. Rodman is fouled, and he'll go to the line. You had the feeling that the Sonics felt that the series was all over. They appear to be giving up, except for Shawn Kemp, who made those bold statements, and here they are right back into it, although the Bulls are playing very well in this first half, and Dennis Rodman, hearing it from the crowd after drawing the foul, is called on Kemp, who sits down.
Well, you just can't assume that Michael Jordan is going to miss free throws just because he's a good foul shooter, but how can you not box out Dennis Rodman in a free throw situation? He makes a living doing that.
Matt, Seattle's a poor defensive rebounding team. They don't have the big guy. Rodman horrible at the line. Remember, it was in Game 2. Seattle had a chance to go for the victory, and Scottie Pippen continues to play perfect basketball.
Scottie Pippen defending the bigger Sam Perkins will step in front for the steal to start one of the fast breaks and one of the rare ones for Chicago, as they have not had very many. But Scottie Pippen right here in the middle of the floor, nobody coming up to stop him. Michael Jordan running this lane, and wide man over here, and Scottie Pippen just making the right play with the perfect bounce pass to finish off the fast break.
And the good ball movement by Chicago continues. They've got 10 baskets and 8 assists, and the people in Chicago are ecstatic.
Well, this crowd has been into it right from the start, looking to provide a lift for the Bulls. Very quiet crowd in games 1 and 2. Chicago with an 18-8 run the last 7 minutes. Perkins coming up short. And it was last touched by the Bulls.
Marv, Sam Perkins looks really off tonight. This is the guy who has to have a big game. He had a wide open dunk there and just not moving well at all.
Perkins has missed his first 3 shots. Seattle bench 0 for 6 here at the start. Now Perkins gives it back. Schrempf. Yes! Detlef Schrempf from downtown. He has 7 points, and the Bulls now lead by 6.
Poor decision by Toni Kukoc to come doubled as he ran back to the other end. Phil Jackson let him know about it. Rodman had Perkins under control, too far away from the basket. Double team not necessary.
And Rodman took a poke in the head from Schrempf. For Detlef, his first. a new 24 for the Bulls. Here's another look at it.
Rodman in the triple post. Detlef feels he can get a play from behind. Rodman always has to have the last word.
Jordan with a series of fakes, had to give it back. And a travel on Steve Kerr. The Bulls were called for 7 traveling violations in Game 5 in Seattle.
And I talked to Phil Jackson before the game. I said, of the 7, Phil, how many really were? He said 1. Actually, on that particular play, Michael Jordan got away with a walk to escape the defensive Wingate.
When does Phil Jackson start complaining about the ref? Seattle hammered him in Game 5.
Of course, that's always a coach's point of view in terms of, well, 1 out of 7.
Well, first it's the refs, then it's the timekeeper, then it's the announcers next. Who knows?
Well, he wasn't complaining about the referees. He was just answering my question.
He was complaining about you, I think. Kukoc off the steal. Kerr facing the double team. We are early second quarter, and the Bulls lead 27-21. Hitting the shot, hits on his first, and the Bulls lead 29-21.
Jordan rode Kerr the last turnover. He went right back to him with the pass. That's what great teammates do. They lead their guys to beautiful performances.
Hawkins. Hersey Hawkins with the floater. His second field goal. He has 4, and the Bulls now lead by 6 points. Phil Jackson with Rodman, Kukoc, Jordan, Hawkins. Beautiful pass. Rodman. Well, Dennis getting credit for the extra rebound. It's the second time that has occurred.
That's Moses Malone basketball. But Chicago's getting to the hoop. They did not do that out in Seattle.
Hits from downtown. And now it's changed to a 2. Have the foot on the line. 31-25 the score. And a blocking foul called on Wingate.
Well, Michael Jordan drawing the attention of the defense, getting up in the air, finding Kerr wide open, and the crowd, you could feel it in the tone. They wanted Steve to make that, and he really put a beautiful arc on that shot to get the first one. And Michael is so in tune anytime around the basket, feeling the defense, finding the open man, and Scottie Pippen appreciates that kind of basketball.
Longley back on the floor. Setting up on Perkins, and it's a traveling violation.
Luke has been playing very, very well. He's another one of the Bulls who's going to have off-season surgery. He's got to have some bone spurs taken off those ankles. He will not play in the Olympics for Australia, his native country, this summer.
And Luke also bothered by a sore back in recent days. 6-point Chicago lead. 4 minutes in, second quarter. And the overplay, Harper called for the foul.
Well, the Bulls have made a concerted effort anytime a smaller man is playing a bigger man in the post to get around and front and put pressure not only on the passer, but make that a tough pass, and it has gotten the Bulls more aggressive defensively. Hey, Chicago is playing very well. Seattle is not playing their type of basketball yet, and they look at up at that scoreboard and find themselves only trailing by 6.
And if they would just feed the post, Seattle would get that ball in better. They float passes. They hang them out. You got to zip it in there hard to the guy.
And Schrempf holding on the play. It led to the offensive foul. Illegal pick set by Kemp, trying to free up the man with the ball, Schrempf.
It looked like Shawn Kemp was stationary, but when he leaned over, when he put that shoulder down, if he had stood his ground upright, that would have been a foul on Rodman.
Here's Jordan. Well, would have been a 2-pointer. Foot on the line, so Michael is now 2 of 7 from the field.
The guards are running away from the ball in the backcourt for Seattle.
Nice. Kemp, Rodman.
Well, there's that pass you wanted, Bill, as Rodman, he was buried in the lane there, had to try to get around in front, but way too late, as Kemp did a beautiful job of holding him off. Perfect pass.
Bulls 31, Sonics 27. Jordan facing the double team, finding Pippen. Rodman. Trying to draw contact, no call, but Longley got it to Jordan. Here's Jordan. Michael able to elevate. Bulls lead 33-27.
Marv, defensive rebound. It's killing Seattle. They can't dig that ball out.
Shawn Kemp once again from the outside. That's his 4th field goal. He has 10 points, so the Bulls lead by 4. Bulls have led by as many as 9. Sonics briefly led by 1. They were up 10-9 in the early going. Here's Jordan going for the series of fakes. Rebounded by Schrempf.
Oh, Michael is so quick right now. He had Hersey Hawkins whipped on the baseline. Hersey would have never found him, but Michael didn't realize how badly he had him beat.
Perkins working on Pippen and lost it. Hopper with Hawkins back. Foul by Hawkins, and Hopper had the acceleration.
Sam Perkins looks asleep.
Many have said that, but that's not necessarily on the court. It's the look, though. Well, the NBA and NBC Sports have teamed up and created the official website for the NBA Finals at finals.com. Game previews and player bios and video highlights. The latest news on the Bulls and the Sonics. Plus, during our broadcast of the Finals, fans around the globe can interact with our very own cybercaster, Steve Snapper Jones, who is online. Not to be confused, incidentally, with the Steve Jones who won the U.S. Open earlier today. Steve was asked the other day, what is the most asked question that he has received, and this the answer. Did you get a fair deal trading courtside seats to Marvin Matt for a seat upstairs away from Bill? I don't know about that one. I don't know.
Hey, Bob, I heard you were online the other day.
Well, you know, and I told Bill anytime that he has a question, he can ask it directly. He does not have to go online. You know, feel free at any time, Bill.
You don't want to give me that kind of freedom, Marv. You want to keep me on the nice tight leash that I'm on.
Chicago with a 35-29 lead on Seattle. Halfway through the second quarter. Hawkins and Payton in the backcourt. Schrempf with Kemp and Perkins up front. Here is Kemp. And Hawkins able to hustle it down. Schrempf for 3. Hopper with Schrempf back. And Jordan will reset.
Harper moving so much better. Obviously, the series of injections that he took during the course of this week seemed to be working for this game today. Always a very dangerous proposition.
Play by Perkins to bring it up and hit the rim. So they got the new 24. Kukoc. The Sonics screaming for offensive interference.
It's like a volleyball game up there. Nobody going after the basketball in a green uniform as Kukoc Longley hanging all over that rim.
It's amazing. How can you expect to win the championship of the NBA when you can't get a defensive rebound each and every time the other team's miss?
And another Seattle turnover. They've been sloppy with the ball. It leads to Pippen. 9 points for Scottie Pippen. And the Sonics want to talk it over. As we were going to break on that Sonic timeout, double technicals were called on Payton and Hopper as they had words as they crossed paths in front of the official scorers table. 10-point lead for Chicago, their biggest lead of the night. We have 4:39 remaining in the first half. Perkins for Schrempf. Pippen with
Hawkins took Schrempf out of his rhythm.
Good box out by Kemp. Jordan able to break it up. Hopper protecting the ball. With the tip. And the Bulls are rolling.
Chicago is getting fast break opportunity after opportunity. SONICS not getting back. And when they do and the shot is missed, nobody's jumping for a rebound.
And the Bulls have out rebounded the SONICS now 24-15. Shot clock down to 5. Bottled up and held. The foul committed by Jordan.
The effect of the home crowd just keeps pushing and pushing for their favorite Bulls here. Just waves of rampaging Bulls at the glass. Harper throws it up. He knows somebody. That time it was Kukoc. Pippen was right there. Pippen's defense has been spectacular today, Mark.
Standing ovation for Ron Harper. Steve Kerr coming on for Harper, who is playing with an injured left knee. Kemp from Sam Perkins. It's the Bulls by 10. Chicago with 9 steals in this first half. 4 by Pippen. NBA record for the NBA Finals in a single game is 7 by Robert Horry of Houston last year. Pippen already has 4. Pippen keeps it alive as the Bulls get the new 24. Crowd wanted Kukoc to pull the trigger.
I'd pass it to Jordan instead.
Excellent thought. Shot clock at 5. And a travel is called.
Well, they were trying, but Michael Jordan really played beautifully by Gary Payton, bumping from behind, getting around and fronting, and doing a terrific job as he has now the last 2.5 games, just unable to get the ball to him, and Michael Jordan upset about it.
Able to free himself up. 9 points for Schrempf. Bulls lead 41-33 with 2.5 to go in this first half. 8 rebounds, 5 off the offensive glass for Rodman. You can see the domination by Chicago. Schrempf with a good play to knock it away from Jordan. 3-on-2. Fouled by Kerr.
That last play, Michael lit up when Detlef Schrempf switched out, and that was a replay of George Karl's faulty strategy from game 1 in this series. Led to a fast break opportunity, and with good balance, with the guard in the middle and Schrempf running the wing, they got an easy trip to the foul line.
So Detlef Schrempf to the line for the first time. This season, Detlef out with a fracture of the left tibia, sat out 19 games. Took a while for him to make it back. His cutting and reactions were a bit off. Here's Dennis Rodman for Toni Kukoc. Kukoc 2 of 5. He has 4 points. The Chicago Bulls 9-0 at home in the playoffs, including victories over the SONICS in games 1 and 2. During the regular season, they won 39 of 41. The SONICS did not want the Bulls celebrating on their floor. Won the last 2 in Seattle. And now the Bulls are hoping to pull off the celebration here tonight. The SONICS looking to send it to a Game 7 here in Chicago on Wednesday. Seattle with 6 unanswered points. They are within 6 with just under 2 minutes to go. First half. And again, the Bulls force the SONICS into a turnover.
Pippen's defense is just spectacular tonight. He's everywhere. He doesn't get any credit that time, but he forced that turnover. So nice to see Scottie back on top of his game.
Chicago has had a couple of unforced turnovers by Michael Jordan on the last couple of trips. They have to start handling the ball much better.
Already 11 turnovers tonight. They had just 11 for the entire game on Friday. Nice ball movement. Pippen slicing his way, trying to feed off to Longley, but it was called for a charge
Good call. Pippen in the lane. The defenders were in the air, which is fine. Scottie initiating this contact. Knocks over a bunch of players.
Well, it is a good call, but the way this ball game started, everybody was flopping to the floor, falling down. Some of them were real charges, some of them were imagined, but this is what confuses the players. The way the game starts out, the way it's officiated, and then it starts to change as you gradually move on. Very tough to figure out.
Scottie Pippen was called for a second, taking a seat, replaced by Toni Kukoc. Here's Kemp on a double team. Shoot loose, but could not hit.
I think Shawn's got to take shots like that, Marvin. He's got 11 shot attempts in the game. I think 25 for him has got to be his goal. Sometimes you got to force a little bit when you're the best player on your team.
Nice lead pass, but John rejected by Kemp. What a play by Kemp. How often do we see that? And here's Kemp at the other end.
Kemp is the one guy on this team that will block shots. He's not a real intimidating shot blocker, but when he gets his rhythm, he'll force Phil Jackson to take a timeout as he's led Seattle right back into this game.
You know, we have just seen one of the great end-to-end sequences of this season. The show by Shawn Kemp.
Well, with Shawn Kemp defending Dennis Rodman, doesn't have to worry about him so much as an offensive player. You do have to worry about him on the offensive glass, but no way he can get it there as Shawn Kemp made sure nothing doing for Michael Jordan. And then Shawn Kemp, who's been shooting the jump shot really from the perimeter very well, and that tough little medium-range jumper, nicely.
You see the way Shawn Kemp floated by Jordan and let Jordan sort of suckered him in, forced him to bring it behind his head, and then wiped it off with that left hand. Reminded me of Bill Russell a little bit.
Well, Kemp with 14 points. He has sparked an 8-0 run for Seattle after the Bulls took a 12-point lead. And now Kemp sitting down with 40 seconds remaining in the half. The Bulls lead by 4. Looked like they were about to pull away, leading by as many as 12.
Been shooting the ball very well throughout this series, not getting that many shots, however, as he has averaged 11 points a game, doing a terrific job in this ball game of when his man leaves him, finding that crease, finding that open area, and his teammates know where big Luke is and able to finish the play.
And the difference in the post feeding by both teams. Chicago, Tex Winter and Phil Jackson, the triple post offense. They know you got to zip that ball in.
Longley going behind the back. All right.
Redheads are very good at stuff like that.
I see. Here's Perkins. He continues to struggle, but Schrempf on the rebound.
Nobody
lead by 6, and Perkins rejected. Perkins not able to hit, but a foul is called. Well, Matt, as you say, no one defending Perkins. McMillan spotted him, but Sam has had a very long first half.
Well, so, no question he's having a tough time, but you don't leave him wide open underneath as miscommunication between Longley and Rodman, leaving him wide open, but Sam still couldn't get the shot to go.
I think they were testing Sam. I think they said, look, if we leave you wide open, can you score?
I see.
He couldn't.
He is 0 for 5 from the field. Foul was called on Rodman, and Perkins now 0 for 1 at the line. Sam was celebrated his 35th birthday on Friday and was serenaded by the crowd after the game. Had the touch earlier this series, usually very good in clutch situations.
And that's what's so surprising. I mean, this is the kind of game that Sam Perkins comes out and plays beautiful basketball and hitting the threes and rebounding, playing defense, and today it has just been nothing.
So the Bulls lead by 5. Final seconds of the half. Jordan. And he was tripped up. That won't count. Gary Payton upset about that foul, his second. And Seattle in the penalty, so Jordan will shoot 2 with 4 and 9/10 seconds remaining first half.
Well, with the second quarter winding down, the Bulls going to their spread offense where they open the floor and will give it to Pippen, Kukoc, or Michael Jordan. I asked Phil Jackson before the game, come fourth quarter, if you're having trouble scoring in the triangle, will you open it up? Give the ball to Michael Jordan at the top of the key. He said, we haven't used it much yet. We're ready to put it in.
The Bulls 44, the Sonics 38.
That's probably why Phil Jackson's coach of the year. Just, call the play. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan.
Chicago by 7. McMillan. And Perkin. That's the end of the first half. And the Bulls hearing it from this crowd. Halftime at the United Center in Chicago. And the Bulls lead the Sonics 45-38. Well, Michael Jordan 3 of 11 tonight. And the rest of the team 14 of 29. So the supporting cast has done it in the first half. While for the Sonics, Shawn Kemp with 14 points on 6 of 12 and a terrific display once again in the first half. The rest of the Sonics 10 for 27 from the field. Seattle ball as we get started in the third quarter. 7-point Chicago lead. Kowski up front with Kemp and Schrempf. In the backcourt, Payton. Payton opens up by hitting the 3.
Inside-out offense. Seattle needs that. Chicago hasn't had much of that. That's one of the reasons why they haven't been getting it done from behind the line. But you dump it inside, it sets everything out.
Bulls lead 45-41. And a traveling violation on Pippen.
12th turnover for Chicago. Seattle with 11 in the first half. In the half court, Seattle does have to go into Kemp, but only 2 fast break points in that first half for Seattle. I don't know if they can win a basketball game playing that way.
And guys, that's the 4th travel on the Bulls. They were not happy with 7 travels in Game 5 on Friday. Here is Kemp. Spot, but could not convert.
At least Kemp is still taking good shots. They open up with Payton and Kemp handling the ball.
Open shot for Hawkins, who has been a major factor. He has 7 points, and the Bulls lead by 7.
Total miscommunication on the part of the Sonics in their transition defense. That wasn't even a fast break. It was a slow break.
Oh, he was playing tough by Pippen.
Pippen's playing a solid all-around game. But when he gets Schrempf, he should keep facing the basket, use his quickness, foot speed, just blast right by Detlef.
Schrempf has 13 points. Got the step on Kowski. Short! With the putback.
Defensive rebounding. Again, you think of championship teams, you think of big guys snatching balls and firing outlet passes. There's nothing. This is just layup after layup for Chicago.
All started with the double team on Jordan and big men chasing small men out on the floor.
Here's Schrempf. Jordan with the rebound. Bulls lead by 7. 2 minutes, 10 seconds gone by. Third quarter, Jordan for Longley. Have opened up a 52-43 advantage.
Penetration and dish. That's Michael Jordan's ultimate taking over of this league after Isaiah, after Magic, and after Larry Bird.
Kowski for 3. Longley able to save that pass slightly off, but then threw it away. Gave it right back to the Sonics.
Test that man for color blindness.
Shot clock at 10. Schrempf went flying. Shot clock at 4. Oh, what a shot by Gary Payton.
Well, after terrific defense on the part of Ron Harper, really stifling Gary Payton, forcing him to take that tough shot.
Ron Harper will have to take some time out to tie the shoelaces
I don't know how that was not a traveling violation on Payton.
And still hits the three. Forget about the shoelaces. There you see it. Dragging the right foot. 10-point Chicago lead. Offensive foul is called.
Hersey, Hawkins, as Ron Harper's got to tie the shoes up. This is after he made it, where you just play with no shoelaces. Hersey Hawkins called for the screen across, foul, on the move. Dennis Rodman flops once again. Again, here's a guy that doesn't flinch when Shaq thumps him. And Hersey Hawkins, who's bigger than Marv, comes out and sets a screen.
Hey, that's 4 on Hawkins. So again, Jordan heads to the line. Foul on Payton. That's 3 on Payton. And a timeout taken by Seattle. Animated discussion between Dennis Rodman and Hugh Evans, who is being led away by teammates. 8:08 to go, third quarter. It's the Bulls by 10. We welcome you back to Chicago, where the Bulls with another spurt. There's Lamar Hunt, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the original owners of the Chicago Bulls, and now one of the Bulls' partners. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. He and Lamar will not be getting together after the game. And Bill Murray, a native of Chicago. We talked with Bill earlier. He said that he always returns for ritual sacrifices. Oprah on hand here at the United Center.
Well, Michael's still struggling from the field at 4 for 12, but like all the great scorers in the history of basketball, when they do not have their shot going, they find ways to score, and here it is, right at the free throw line. Michael going for his 9th and 10th free throw of the game.
4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. The Bulls lead by 12. This matches their biggest lead of the game. Gary Payton is playing with 3 personal fouls. Hersey Hawkins has 4. They're on the floor with Kemp, Schrempf, and Bukowski. Open shot for Schrempf. And left Schrempf with a solid ball game. 6 of 11. He's now the high scorer for Seattle with 15.
Seattle's hope here has to be on the fact that Chicago cannot play a full 48-minute game. The age, the injuries. But that crowd right now is so ready.
Hopper way off. Dennis Rodman, who's been quiet the last 2 games, has certainly had an impact here tonight. Hawkins broken out. And here's Pippen leading the 3-on-2 as they spread the floor. Pippen for Rodman on the right. And it counts.
Dennis Rodman doing what he does best, work on the offensive glass. Nobody gets a body on him. Frank Bukowski loses him right on the doorstep. Dennis Rodman finishing one off. And then you get the rare 3-on-2 fast break that you don't normally see. You see 3-on-1s, 2-on-1s, and Scottie Pippen making the nice play to Dennis Rodman.
Matt, I think that Dennis Rodman works the crowd better than he works the offensive board.
Well, he has the crowd going with 9 points and 10 rebounds. Shot clock at 5. And away from the ball, the call against the Sonics as Rodman was taken down by Kemp. That's 3 on Kemp.
Rodman and Kemp away from the ball. Kemp, the frustration. That was not a flop. He threw him to the ground. Shawn, you cannot lose your poise here. That's Dennis Rodman trying to get into your head. You've been above that all series. Stay that way.
And this is that little bit of a different tactic that the Sonics have not seen in the last few games. Fronting the big man inside, and Seattle not handling it very well at all.
The Bulls have a 15-point lead. Seattle calling for time.
Pippen, who's been doing everything here in the third. This has just become a clinic for Chicago at the basket. Michael Jordan so ecstatic. George Karl forced to call a timeout. Things falling apart for Seattle. They're in desperate straits at this moment.
Where the Bulls lead the Sonics by 15. Seattle's inspirational leader, Nate McMillan, sobbing during that timeout, tears of both frustration and pain. Team doctor tells me that he did re-aggravate his back injury late in the first half. He was wearing a back brace just prior to his trying to enter the game for a few minutes and in obvious pain, and they're not sure if he will be able to play again today. Marv?
Thank you, Hannah. 4:48 remaining, third quarter, and the Bulls lead by 15 points.
You feel so bad for Nate. Marv, I dreamed my whole life of playing against Abdul-Jabbar in the NBA Finals. I finally got that chance, and I had a broken foot at the time, and it just ruined my life. Of course, until they let me carry your bag.
I was going to say, but it's been turned around the last couple of years.
Now that they
NBC Association.
Now that they let me carry your room service and make your dinner reservations, it's a lot better.
Pippen checking a shot clock. It's down to 3. Harper for 3. And a loose ball foul. Ball on the Bulls.
I really haven't noticed the Sonics defense picking up that much, but on the last 3 possessions for Chicago, very tentative. They had a couple of fast break opportunities that they didn't take. The Sonics want to get this thing to 10 points before this third quarter's over.
Pass, Payton finding Perkins. It's a 13-point Chicago lead, and the crowd trying to rev up the Bulls once again.
Good sign that Perkins is coming to life, but Shawn Kemp's only taken 1 shot this half.
Nice pull by Pippen, and here comes Payton with Jordan back.
Now right there, Payton should just go right at Jordan. You're only going to win if you attack with your strength.
Fires the 3. He has 14 points, and the Sonics are down by 10. Michael Jordan has not had a good shooting performance, but he has distributed the ball well. He's been looking for teammates. On the back tap, it's handled by Payton.
Ahmad was telling us that Phil Jackson does not want these wild threes. That's how Seattle got back into the end of the first half. They're creeping back in right now because of Chicago's poor offense.
Schrempf with the post-up move. Rebound kept alive by Kemp. And the save by Kemp. What a play by Shawn Kemp. What ball control to fight off 2 Bulls. And that makes it a 9-0 run for the Sonics. The Bulls call for time. So the Sonics have come roaring back, down by as many as 17. They are now within 8 points.
Well, it must be at that end of the floor because this is what Seattle was doing in the first half, not going for those loose balls and rebounds, and Luke Longley making just a couple of half-hearted efforts, and Shawn Kemp showing that he just wanted that basketball more as the Sonics have regained the momentum and start to creep back into this ballgame.
9-0 run by Seattle. Shawn Kemp with 16 points, along with 10 rebounds, and with 2:49 to go in this third quarter. It is an 8-point game.
Marv, Chicago took Dennis Rodman out when Rodman had control of the game. He was on the offensive glass. He was making nice passes. The Bulls were running. They put him on the bench, and now Seattle back right in it. And Shawn Kemp working his way on the offensive glass, and Dennis Rodman, all he can do is stretch. He has to learn that trick about substituting yourself, I guess.
Well, the Bulls misfiring on their last 5 shots. No field goals the last 3 minutes and 45 seconds. A rare drought for Chicago. They've played exceptionally well here tonight.
Well, we have seen the last couple of games with the Chicago Bulls. Now, it was on the road in a very tough building to play, where the crowd was just huge as far as the inspirational impetus that they gave the Sonics, but we saw Chicago get tired. We saw Michael Jordan get tired, and right now, almost with 2:49 to go in the third quarter, Chicago just walking through their offense, loping, not sharp with their passes and not sharp with their cuts, and it is killing them.
It goes right back to what Hannah talked about at the very start of the game, about Seattle's hope being based on Chicago's inability to play a full 48. Payton very quiet in the first half. Payton has come back strong. He's got 8 points here in the third, along with 6 assists. Magnificent third quarter for Gary Payton, but they're still down 9. The crowd here has been put back in their seats.
Phil Jackson will rest Michael Jordan. Rodman is back on the floor. Kukoc, Pippen, Harper, and Kerr. Rodman setting the screen. Kukoc in a battle with Perkins. Shot clock at 7. Here's Kerr over Perkins. A 3 for Steve Kerr, who was 3 of 20 from downtown in this series prior to that shot.
Oh, no way he could see the basket. He was totally covered. He just had to launch.
They bring Rodman back in, and he shuts down Kemp right away.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Intended for Pippen. And back comes Payton. Here's Kemp. Kemp has mastered that shot. It appears he's about to put it on the floor and drive to the basket, but he has that nice little pull-up now.
On this situation with Chicago struggling, you say, why would Phil Jackson take Michael Jordan out? First of all, it's normally when he comes out of the game, late in the third quarter, but also Phil likes to show the confidence in the other players that they can stem the tide.
And yet another travel on the Bulls. That's the 5th time they have been called for steps.
But it's been when Jordan's on the bench this entire series that Seattle has made their greatest runs, particularly in this building. In the 2 games out there that Seattle won, it didn't matter that Jordan was on the court. Seattle spanked him anyway.
Minute 25 remaining, third quarter. Sonics down by 9. Payton putting moves on Harper. Did not find the shot. Shot clock at 4. Payton from deep. Forced into a difficult shot.
And a great rebounding job by Scottie Pippen, who throughout this series, despite his shooting problems, has played the other parts of the game.
Harper rejected by Kemp. Kept alive, though. Harper trying to back to 3-point territory. Shot clock is down to 5. Kukoc. Pippen traveling. What is going on here?
That's a good call. Scottie stepped into his shot. He didn't deliver it. Again, the hesitation that Scottie has. The shooting, both teams dead even. The score is not a 9-point lead. Scottie needs to attack, be more of a leader when Michael's on the bench.
Vincent Askew, who was benched the last 2 games, seeing some action here. But not happy with his play. And he goes right to the offense. Rodman with the rebound.
Everything one-on-one for Seattle. If you're going to go one-on-one, go one-on-one with Payton. Go one-on-one with Kemp. And move off of them. Everybody's standing around watching.
15 seconds to the quarter. 4-second differential with the shot clock. Pippen. Down to 5 seconds. Look out. Kerr going for the steal. Payton finding Hawkins for 3. After 3 quarters in Chicago. The Bulls 67. Sonics 58. Kemp 8 of 16 for his 18 points. Jordan not shooting well, 5 of 14 for 20 points. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Miller, where great taste runs in the family, brings you Miller Moments.
Tonight's Miller Moment takes us back to the 93 NBA Finals, Game 6. And the Bulls trailed the Suns by 2 in the final seconds when John Paxson hit that clutch three-pointer to give Chicago the lead. The Suns had one last chance, but Kevin Johnson's shot blocked by Horace Grant, and the Bulls became the first team in 27 years to win 3 consecutive NBA titles. That was done also on Father's Day back in '93. In recognition of that moment, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. There's John, now an assistant coach, his first year as an assistant with the Bulls after serving as color commentator for the Bulls. His clutch shooting made him a major contributor to the Bulls' 3 NBA championship teams. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Chicago with the ball. They're up by 9, and here is Jordan coming up short, but he drew the foul. Oh, he wanted that off the spin. His shooting's been off. He's 5 of 15. He's 9 of 10 at the line, and he'll go back to the line after that foul by Schrempf.
Matt mentioned earlier about the great ones when the game's not happening from the perimeter, get to the foul line. Looked like he was going to clear out a little bit with the stiff arm left, but he just dangled it out there, and Detlef came in and hammered him.
It's such a difficult cover for Vincent Askew to begin with. He has been buried so deep in the doghouse, hadn't played in the last couple of games, and now, even though he has been able to play Jordan in other situations, just looks very rusty out there.
And with this lineup for Seattle, Chicago's going to be able to get to the hoop, and nobody's going to be able to keep Rodman off the board.
And there is Juanita Jordan rooting her husband, and the ball's on. They now have an 11-point lead. 9:50 to go in this fourth quarter. First shot, but the pass was off the mark.
Terrible pass, Detlef Schrempf.
Randy Brown for Toni Kukoc. Scottie Pippen played by Hersey Hawkins. Hawkins been very quiet here tonight after the 2 solid games. Look out. That's headed our way. Brown trying to save it. Payton. And he was fouled by Pippen. I was ready to snatch it.
That was your ball. We were waiting to see, Mark.
Did not know whether to go left, did not know whether to go right, but really a poor decision on the part of Randy Brown in what amounted to an outlet pass and starting that little fast break play for Gary Payton. Bill, you mentioned before what a bad pass by Detlef Schrempf, and the reason why it was so bad is Gary Payton took his eye off the passer Detlef Schrempf, and you should never make a pass to a man unless he's looking to give the target and ready to catch it.
Well, that was your excuse for not feeding Wilt all the time, right? That Wilt wasn't looking.
If I didn't feed Wilt, I was on the bench. Pronto.
Sonics have not spent much time at the line. They're now 7 of 8 from the line. The Bulls 14 of 18. Bulls lead 72-63. Steve Kerr is back. It's Kerr and Jordan with Pippen, Rodman, and Kukoc on the front line. Kukoc from the Toni Kukoc, who contributed early in this series with some huge shots, has hit his last 2 from downtown. And a foul, a hold called on Rodman. For Rodman, his 3rd.
Rodman working the triple post. You see the action away from the ball, the antithesis of what Seattle does. The split on the ball side, the screen down on the weak side, everybody involved for the Chicago Bulls.
Bill Wennington enjoying the moment. Dennis Rodman now 14 rebounds along with 9 points and 4 assists. Isolated against Brown. Hawkins for 3. Ready to play. Hersey Hawkins 2 of 5 from the field. into the hands of Kemp. Schrempf took the hit from foul.
Marv, when Gary Payton gets this short outlet pass from Shawn Kemp on one of their few defensive rebounds tonight, Gary Payton's got to drive that ball up and create the fast break himself. He throws it away so early in the possession. He's the playmaker. He's the creator on this team.
Askew sitting down. Hawkins is back with Schrempf and Kemp up front. Payton and Hawkins at the guards. Kemp and Rodman trying to draw the foul. Perkins to the lane. Again, comes up short. Sam Perkins. 2 for 10 from the field.
Well, the Chicago Bulls have gotten a couple of major breaks there. A wide open look for Hawkins, and then another one there for Perkins to try to get Seattle back into the game. They just cannot make their three-point shots.
Shot clock at 2. Kukoc firing away now. And a foul on Brown, making contact with Schrempf.
Well, Scottie's been all over the court, Scottie Pippen, tonight in so many different ways. He ran down that last loose ball, but when he gets the ball against Detlef, Schrempf, and Hersey, Hawkins, he is not blasted by those guys. There's no way that Schrempf and Hawkins can even stay in the same gym with Scottie Pippen on the defensive end.
Ron Harper getting set to return. Bulls now have 14 fouls. Sonics with just 2. Schrempf pulling the hook shot out of the repertoire.
But Rodman is taking over. He knows where every ball is going. I dump it into the low post now. Let him run the triple post.
Rodman has 16 rebounds. Jordan. Rodman and Perkins in the battle. It is called a jump ball. Jordan upset. He thought there should have been a foul on the Sonics, but they'll jump it up when we come back. 6:58 to go in the fourth. Standing ovation again from this Chicago crowd. They want to see the championship celebration tonight. The Sonics only 1 of 6 from the field in the fourth quarter. Oh, Pippen with the save. And it is Chicago ball with 6:50 remaining in the fourth, and the Bulls leading 75-63. Open shot for Pippen. Pippen able to scoop it up.
Second shots, the story of this game, and it's why the Chicago Bulls are in the position they are right now. Dennis Rodman does most of that damage for Chicago, but the rest of the team does very well because of all of his activity.
Schrempf. So he ends that streak that you just saw, and the Bulls now lead 77-65. Schrempf with 17.
Seattle, Marv, has not been a terrific comeback team in these playoffs. When they played as the leader, they've been super.
Oh, Dennis Rodman with the one-hand rebound for his 17th, and he drew the foul, number 5, on Kemp.
Dennis Rodman, unbelievable how he works and has a nose and has a feel for where shots are going to come. And Seattle just cannot get a body on him.
Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. On the pull-up. Comes back to Jordan. Oh, the ball fake. We saw that in the Orlando series, but Michael this time did not take it to the basket, just setting it up. And an offensive foul is called. And for Michael, his second.
Now, Michael does have a tendency to use that off arm to wipe out the defender to get an advantage, and just ever so slightly just wipes at the hand of the defensive man.
You get the idea he wants to do something that will get this crowd to explode. Perkins for Sam Perkins, 2 of 11 from the field.
Mark, Chicago so fundamentally sound. They box out magnificently. It's not a big team. Longley's not a great defensive. That's a heat check. He knows he's got the rhythm. He said, why not?
Just under 5 minutes. Sam again not able to hit. It's Pippen off the boards. Chicago with a 47-31 advantage on the board. Longley is fouled. Good lead from Pippen, and Luke Longley is headed to the line.
Well, that last sequence of fast breaks for Chicago, Shawn Kemp is begging for the ball. They got Sam Perkins, everybody else casting off a 3. They can't even get their star player the ball.
Standing ovation from this crowd at the United Center. And Shawn Kemp has fouled out. 18 points, 14 rebounds.
Luke Longley running the floor, and Shawn Kemp, I think, very, very tired and frustrated that he could not get the basketball late getting back. That really puts Seattle in a major hole. Looking over to the bench saying, hey, get me out, I want the ball. I don't know what's going on at this point.
I don't think he's asking to come out. I think he said, get me some shots here. Talk about a lead in 25. He didn't get close to that.
Well, what a magnificent series it has been for Shawn Kemp. Took over in Game 7 against Utah and has played so well against the Chicago Bulls, which has led to much discussion around the country. You see it written, you see it talked about on the airwaves. That what a shame that Shawn Kemp did not make the dream team at the Olympics.
Well, very possible that he might replace Scottie Pippen, who I don't think should play in the Olympics because of these problems that he's got health-wise.
But I'm told, Bill, that Pippen says no matter what, he'll be there. He's playing, even if it's in a limited role. I know the Bulls would like to see him sit it out for a while. Dennis Rodman receiving an ovation as he sits down with 18 rebounds. And again, 11 on the offensive boards to equal an NBA Finals record. He tied it back in Game 2, the record that is held by Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets. So Dennis is in the record books twice for the 11 offensive boards. Bulls lead 79-66. We come up on 4 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. Harper was looking for the alley-oop. Last touch by Seattle.
Well, Chicago was having problems late in the third quarter with their offense. It was stagnant, nobody moving, and the ball not being passed very well. They came out of this fourth quarter and spread the floor more, and they got more space to run. They got better spacing on their passes.
Shot clock at 5. Pippen. Dick Pavetta blowing the whistle and apparently indicating a foul call away from the ball. The basket counts, and a double foul on Wingate and Jordan.
A lot of action underneath the boards. Just a lock up there. No need to call that. It's just two tough competitors going head to head. Let the game be played by players.
On here's Payton. Trying to give it up. The Bulls by 16, and the crowd sensing it. The Chicago Bulls seeking their 4th NBA title the last 6 years. Only in 1992 against Portland did they have the trophy presentation on their court. Pippen, and rebounded by Perkins. They won their first championship in Los Angeles against the Lakers in 1991. They won their third title in Phoenix against the Suns. Crowd looking for a travel. Hawkins. Sam Perkins, who has had a very difficult time of it, 3 of 13 from the field. He now has 7 points, and the Bulls lead 82-68.
Hard for Chicago, just keep moving. Push yourself through the fatigue. A couple more baskets will probably be all they'll need to get that championship.
Here's Curry. Steve Kerr turning it around after the miserable time he had the previous 5 games. 3 for 3 tonight for 7 points, and the Bulls now lead 84-68. Just under 3 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter. Pass from Schrempf was thrown away. Hawkins could not get to it, and a timeout is being called. 2:44 remaining in the fourth. We'll be back in Chicago in a moment. For the Bulls, what appears to be the completion of what has been a magnificent season. But with the 2 losses to Seattle, did it cost them a piece of NBA history in terms of perception? The comparison has gone from greatest team of all time possibilities to, are they the greatest Bulls team of the 90s? Or are they still one of the great teams in the history of the NBA? Michael Jordan has not been able to find the cut, and Steve Kerr keeps it alive with 2:20 remaining in the fourth.
Marv, I think they're absolutely one of the greatest teams there. I don't think those 2 losses mean anything. Nobody remembers what the spread was in the series. As long as they win, that's what counts. They've delivered all year long.
Now down 2 minutes. 16-point. Kicks it out. Perkins. So Dennis Rodman with his 19th rebound. The only question is, will he break the NBA Finals record for offensive rebound? Standing ovation for the Chicago Bulls. And back comes Hawkins with 1:25 to go. Rejected by Rodman. Wingate. And the Bulls now lead 84-70. The trophy presentation will take place on the floor here at the United Center. The Michael Jordan comeback will be completed. Here is Jordan kicking it out. Pippen. We are just under 1 minute remaining, and the Bulls will have won their 4th title. And for the Sonics, a season that saw them win 64 games, answer their critics by getting to the NBA Finals. They had the same people wondering over the first 3 games, but they came back in glorious fashion to force the 6th game. And they are now down to the final 21 seconds of this 1995-96 season.
Chicago Stadium, the old building, one of the loudest in all of sports. The United Center, I think, has finally come of age. They have reached the level with this crowd, and they played a major part in this victory tonight.
Well, Eric Snow walks it up with time running out. Down to 10 seconds. A three-pointer for Schrempf. 87-75, and we're in the final second. The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship. Make it 4 in 6 years as they defeat the Sonics 87-75. And they are going wild in the Windy City. Detroit. And the Bulls are able to, as Michael Jordan has often said, complete the picture. Michael Jordan, we're told, has won Most Valuable Player honors for this final series. It was not a particularly good shooting series for Michael, and he finished tonight only 5 of 19, but 11 of 12 at the line, 22 points, but also had 7 assists.
And the first time in the history of the NBA that one player has won the regular season Most Valuable Player, All-Star Most Valuable Player, and NBA Finals. A tremendous accomplishment by Michael Jordan.
The questions in terms of contract signing involving Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman. On the other side of the ledger, George Karl of the Seattle Sonics. We will have the presentation of the championship trophy in just a moment. An emotional moment for Michael Jordan. The tears are flowing. We'll be talking with Michael in just a few moments, and I would think there is a tie-in with his late dad on this Father's Day, 1996.
Two losses in Seattle. Was there even a tinge of worry coming in tonight?
We were never worried. We had these people to come home to, home crowd. That's right, home cooking. We knew we'd win it right here.
You've been around the game a long time. You've played with a storied team in the Knicks of the early 70s. You've coached 4 world champions. But this season was different than any other in NBA history, and the expectations were very high. Nothing but a championship would have sufficed.
You're right. The championship was placed on our heads the first day of camp. Dennis Rodman, addition to our basketball club. We've had a wonderful time doing it. It's been a joyful ride.
The atmosphere in this building speaks for itself. We don't want to put a damper on it in any way, but this is a question that has to be asked. Do you expect to be back here as you go for 2 in a row and 5 overall next year?
They want me back. If the management wants me back, I'll come back. It's got to be right. It'll be right.
And now let's go to Ahmad Rashad, who's with Michael Jordan.
All right, thanks, Bob. Michael, I know that the first one was sweet, but how much sweeter was this one?
Well, you know, I can't even put it in words. My father's that's what it means to me. I know he's watching. To my wife and to my kids, to my mother, my brothers and sisters. This is for Daddy. I'm very happy for him.
Now, you had said, Michael, that of all the accomplishments that you've made, that this may be the accomplishment. Why?
Well, this goes right up there to having my kids. My kids are the most important things to me, my wife, my family. But next to them, this is going to mean a lot to me because of what it symbolizes, which is my father on Father's Day. It means a big deal to me.
Now, you remember just a couple of years ago that early flight to Indiana where it all started. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like this is a culmination.
It's been a long road. You know, it started from scratch. You know, I had a lot of support from my teammates, from my family. I'm just happy for the city of Chicago. I'm sorry I was out for 18 months, but I'm happy I'm back to bring a championship back to Chicago.
I know this is what you're pointing for, but as we look back at the baseball, we were talking the other day that you've almost forgotten about that. Seems like years ago.
I haven't truly forgot it. You know, those minor leaguers meant a lot to me. They really got me back on the road of thinking basketball. They showed me the genuine attitude that you have when you're playing a sport that you truly love. So I give a lot of gratification to the minor league organization, the White Sox organization for giving me that inspiration. But it's always great to come back and play in Chicago.
All right, Michael, congratulations to you on a great year and way to bring it to a win.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. I'm here with Dennis Rodman. They're chanting your name now, Rodman. Rodman, did you simply impose your will there in the third quarter with all those rebounds and 5 points?
Well, I just think, say one thing. I just thank Chicago for having me in the city, and A lot of people never gave me any credit to be in this situation where I am today, but I proved them all wrong again, so, you know.
Did you have some doubts? Did you think maybe, Dennis, this wouldn't work out as well as it has?
No, you know, I'm just happy to be here with somebody, with a city that likes to see someone work their ass off, and, you know, I just like to give back to the people.
Everybody wants to know about next year. There's been some questions. Do you feel as though you're going to be back here next year?
I don't know. It's just up to I promised the people one thing, and I think I did it tonight. Hopefully that's what they want.